Hi guys, welcome back. So Scotland 15, South Africa 30. South Africa just slowly squeezed Scotland in this game until they finally popped towards the end and put on a few points. Scotland hung in there, stayed tough, were close on the scoreboard for the whole time, but didn't really look like winning. They couldn't get any sustained attack. That was the problem, really. South Africa controlled the set piece, didn't let Scotland get into a rhythm, and came away with a well-deserved win, to be fair. They were edging the set piece to start with. Their carries were very powerful. I mean, in their attack, there was very little variation. They run hard, they run straight, very hard to stop. Occasionally they go wide when it's on, but there's not a lot of subtlety there. It's brutal, but it's effective. Scotland don't challenge the first couple of line-outs. Again, they're clearly trying to negate the advantage for South Africa in the line-out, but it doesn't really work, although Skinner diffuses a nice line-out 5 metres out with a steal, but there's danger signs. The first huge Scottish scrum demolishment comes on 10 minutes. That gets a penalty, and that continues for the whole game. I mean, South Africa do have the best scrum in the game. Scotland were good in their last match, but not good enough in this one. And that's South African battering ram, simple but effective, just a bit too good. Smashing away, 5 metre line out, then a 5 metre scrum. Good scrum for Scotland this time, but really clever work from Russell. Nicks the ball when it pops out of the ruck. And then Scotland break free for the first time in 15 minutes. I think Van der Merwe goes up the pitch. They actually get a penalty and go ahead. So after being under the pump for 15 minutes, they go 3-0 up, which is quite interesting. And Scotland really desperate to get to break free the whole match and do a few times, but not enough. On 18 minutes, they finally get into the game with a big jackal from Ritchie. They get a penalty, but Russell, poor strike this time, misses the posts. And the South African screw just turns a little bit more with the scrum again. It's a stream of penalties for South Africa. They go 3-0 up, I think, off a ruck penalty shortly after that. And it's taken 25 minutes, I make a note here, for Scotland to have their first real running phases of the game in attack. It's been a tough first 25 minutes, but they're still in it, 3-3. It's definitely not a disaster. Russell's dropping a few times in attack. It's not the best, but they're in there. And I make a note at this point, again, not impressed with the two Yankees for South Africa, Elton and Herschel. And I think Herschel gets hauled off pretty early as well. I did think that in my preview it could be a weakness, and it is. I'm sure they've got some stronger half-backs than that in South Africa. But anyway, let me know what you think if I'm being a bit harsh. And then we get the first try to South Africa. 10 minutes before half-time, Mapimpi, serious pace. Scotland just a bit too desperate to create something because they're under the pump. They're trying to create this chaos from nothing. And South Africa get a good turnover and simple hands. Deolande, Khaleesi, nice handling. Mapimpi flies up the wing, 3-8. An awful kick from Elton Yantes, but they go ahead 3-8, and it is deserved, to be fair. And it's a bit of irony from all that bash down the front door pressure from South Africa. It's actually a turnover in quick hands that gets the try. Anyway, it's Scotland that comes straight back. Leroux does make mistakes, dawdling terribly at the ruck. He gets robbed. They get a scrum, do Scotland. They get a bit monstered in this scrum, but they manage to retain the ball, basically playing sevens, throwing it around all over the place, crossfield kicks. It's pretty crazy stuff, brilliant madness, but it works this time as the ball works its way to Hogg somehow. 10 points to 8. They go ahead after being under all this pressure. What a contrast in styles, it's amazing. The Scottish kick chase game was actually pretty decent. They did get some joy from that. And it's final play of the game. There's a tight ruck penalty, but a poor miss from Russell again. But they do go ahead at half-time, 10-8. So a very good return on the scoreboard considering the pressure they were under. Now, South Africa start the second half very quickly, and Reinach's on for Herschel Yantes straight away. I thought that might be the case, but hauled off early for him. The tackle contest, the ruck contest is fierce. It's South Africa that come out on top of one of these, and the ball gets whizzed wide. Deolande, again the provider, using his handling to create the difference, not just his physicality. He's been great both weeks for them. Try to Mapimpi, again, great pace. 10-15, perfect start for South Africa. McLean's having a bit of a tough game on the wing. You know, I would have picked Steyn myself. I don't know if he'd done any better, but not great for him after such a great start last match. Scotland know, they absolutely know they've got to create something quickly. I think they've got a feeling they're not going to be able to retain the ball for enough phases, and maybe that's their tactic anyway. They are really chucking the ball around. They are causing the South African defence big problems, but at the moment the South African defence is winning, and the line speed of the South African defence was excellent all game, you have to say that. And in contrast, South Africa just keep building the pressure. Lots and lots of phases, lots of set pieces, and it's a bit of an unsustainable tactic for Scotland just to survive on those scraps. So I think South Africa go ahead with another penalty, stretching the lead to 8, 10-18. Watson goes on. Ritchie was good, I thought, in this match, but Haining, I really didn't notice him too much. Someone did say in the comments in the last video that maybe Watson was carrying a bit of a niggle, which is why he didn't start, and indeed that would make more sense because really they needed him on the pitch if he was fit. But Scotland are suffering under the South African power game. It's just killing them, to be honest. Just too much territory, too much possession. Concede another penalty, 10-21. It's starting to creep away from them, but they do get another try. Scotland, with a few broken field chances, get a penalty. They go to a line out instead of going for the post, and it is the right call. South Africa try and cut off the wide pass, but Van der Merwe does so well just to pop the ball over the top to Hogg, who scorches over for another try. So a couple of tries for him. Another misconversion for Russell, not the best kicking day, 15-21. So they're staying in it, they're fired up, definitely. They chase a 70-metre kick down the pitch and get the ball back, but then they lose a couple of line-outs, it goes a bit wrong. A funny moment, Etzebeth powers into the referee, who scares the life out of him. And South Africa's replacements, I think, are doing a big job. That front row replacement that they can put on, Marks goes in, kits off, Koch comes in, just monster the Scottish scrum. It's such a weapon. Pollard comes on, his form hasn't been great. He gets a kick at goal straight up and just shanks it again. His form's not the greatest, to be honest. Not a good kicking day for anyone. Scotland can't win a line out. It's not functioning. It's tough. When the scrum's not working for Scotland, when the line-out's not working, it's just such a tough day to try and win, and that proves to be the case. And in the last 10 minutes, South Africa just turn that screw. Nice jackal from Kitsoff. Go ahead, 15-24, even more. That South African line speed and defence is unrelating. Win another penalty, 15-27. It looks like the nail is in the coffin now. Scotland losing the contact area as well now. It's just too much to give away and expect to win. And the fight just looks like it's just been knocked out of them finally. Reinach, big improvement, I think, on Herschel Yantes. Inevitable scrum penalty finishes it off, 15-30. So you've got to say, well deserved for South Africa. They stuck to their game plan as they always do. There was nothing really different about what they did, but they just did it really well. Scrum, line out, defence, took a few chances. That's all you need to do. Scotland just couldn't get any decent possession, so they will have to go away, think again on how they can break down a team like South Africa. Good win for South Africa. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, guys, and I will catch you next time.